What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you some details on the recently announced DLC for Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, which was a tactical RPG released this year back in March, I believe. And the reason we're actually talking about this DLC is in the review that I gave for that particular game, my main complaint was that it lacked a little bit of variety, frankly, that otherwise it was very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it lacked a little bit of substance, honestly. Most of the missions were very repetitive, fighting against a lot of the same enemies, and both this DLC as well as a recent free update seem largely aimed at fleshing that out a little bit and offering some variety, which the game sorely needed. But I imagine you clicked on this video to hear about the Duty Eternal DLC, so that is of course what we will talk about first. We don't have a price yet, but it is supposed to be launching on December 6th, and with it will come a couple new units, Dreadnoughts as well as Tech Marines, on top of an all-new Plague, bringing new missions, equipment, and a second ship. So first and foremost, our own forces will be bolstered by Dreadnoughts and Tech Marines to combat the new Technophage Plague. The main plot of Daemonhunters sees us tracking down various plagues from the Chaos God Nurgle, and in total there's about 5 plagues, if my memory serves, that all have various effects, and then you take on missions to combat this plague while searching for answers. Well, the new plague, Technophage, will of course add new missions and variety centered around this new plague with new effects, which we'll be able to fight with our new Dreadnought and Tech Marine units. Tech Marines sound especially interesting, as they're going to be specializing in armor breaking and long-range AoE attacks, which I think will be pretty cool. And in addition to that, they're also going to be bringing new combat servitors, which will theoretically have a variety of effects that they can perform as opposed to the limited function they serve in the base game. But overall, a cool idea. And then we have the Dreadnoughts. When our Grey Knights fall in battle, they can take up the mantle of a Dreadnought pilot and continue to serve you, or more specifically, the Emperor. While we don't have a ton of details about these units, they did say that you'll be able to customize the weaponry that they have, which could mean a lot of things, but overall, a cool idea that will theoretically make use of even your dead units. So I'm excited to see exactly how that particular thing gets implemented. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, they were a little bit vague about, and that was the Gladius frigate. This is an escort starship that's supposed to be opening up new excursions. However, the way they worded it makes it a little unclear if they mean that this will allow you to choose more fights to undertake. As the way the world map works in the base game, you're somewhat limited in what missions you can get to before time runs out. And it sounds a little bit like with the way they worded it, you could use this secondary starship to make it to more or varied missions that are farther away from your ship, or potentially use it specifically to undertake DLC missions. Really sounds like it could go either way, honestly, but that's the bulk of what the DLC has to offer, along with some other minor adjustments that they didn't really lay out in their summary. That said though, they also recently put out a free update that's already out for the game that added some more enemy variety as well as introduced several optimizations to the game. When the game launched, it had some issues with performance for some people. It seemed kind of hit or miss. Some people didn't really have any problem at all, and then others, the game was almost unplayable. But they did recently put out an update that hopefully fixed that for some people. I never personally had much of an issue with the title. But in addition to those things, the free update also added several regular enemy units to the base campaign to, again, add more variety, as there was hardly any unit variation in the original campaign, and they added like 3 or 4 different types of enemies to it with this free update, which all in all I think encompasses what they were trying to accomplish with these past few updates, and that is address what I think was probably one of the biggest concerns about this title, and that was the lack of variety in missions and structure, which makes me actually pretty excited for this DLC, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. But by all means, let me know what you think about this DLC, thoughts, opinions, what you think of the base game, all down in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. We are perilously close to 100k, and we could get there any day at this point. But regardless of all that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.